So let me check one last time for last minute solutions, and if not, we can begin.
Yep.
Okay, no new solutions. Let's begin. So, Zorfax, you want to talk about your own puzzle?
So this week's is green vitriol. I thought it was really cool to because I wanted to do some like reactive like type of stuff, but I found pairing it with the Earth and tying it to the number of Earth atoms that came out made for a far more interesting challenge, definitely in terms of cycles. And I guess the whole mirror thing I thought was worth exploring, whether or not just to see whether or not anyone could take advantage of it. It was either that or make it like a one wheel output with a bronze or something, which didn't really work out. I mean, it would have still been okay, but I think the challenge is more interesting like this because you can kind of separate yourselves into two halves, one way or another.
Mm.
I'm really happy with the puzzle, actually. I think this is one of my better puzzles.
Yeah, this is a really clean puzzle. So, like, the inputs would be reactive Earth and Ceresite fragment. And over here we have...
We called it Ceresite, that's right.
Ceresite. This here is Sinister green vitriol and Dexter green vitriol. So, yeah. I mean...
Needed to make him sound more poetic in line with this week's poem.
Mm-hmm.
Mildly Latin.
Yeah, mildly Latin.
Also, I do enjoy splitting myself in half.
But yeah, now our first metric would be cycles gold area, and as with usual, our first solve is by Steven.
Steven.
Super insulating plastic. Y'all can probably guess what's gonna happen.
Probably won't see what's actually going to happen until it's done running.
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, finish the puzzle first.
Well,
That's one of its tricks.
There's mention of plastic, so I expect a massive polymer somewhere.
The top and bottom is symmetric, so I'm just gonna look at one of the sides.
Oh,
to the
I
left?
see.
Yeah. Here we go.
That reminds me of something.
This tournament has its own memes.
This is a thing now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's one up here as well.
Because symmetry.
Yeah.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Entirely symmetrical because the output is entirely symmetrical.
Uh-huh. That's the most important part. I mean, come on.
Nice brutality on the mirror line as well.
I love the purification math that went into making sure that there would be the proper amount of excess earth and still have no additional waste.
Mm-hmm.
The purification map introduces literally just purify. And wait, no, it's not.
Oh,
wait,
Yeah,
no,
it's got a bit of quicksilver going. It's got a bit of protection going on.
But it.
You need.
Oh
you need
yeah,
to
it's as
calculate it
inefficient
to
as
be-
possible.
Yeah, it's.
Just look
I
at
guess
this
it's a bit
fucking
easier when you
awful
don't
separate
have
head.
to pull quicksilver as often as possible, though.
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to calculate it to be specifically inefficient so that you have extra waste atoms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only way to make it inefficient is like to use 4 inputs to make 1 iron.
Oh, it's getting long. Also, funnily enough, this week has more purification than the throughput puzzle last week.
Yes.
Actual
So-
purification math.
But because this is period 4, it just reuses some of the arms on the thing here for, you know, semi-conditional fuckery. Yeah,
Anyways,
because it just has to pass the earth of the purification stuff again.
moving on,
Yeah.
we have, skipping a few sum solves, a new submitter to the Weeklies and Calidor.
Welcome to the Weeklies.
Yeah, he's been
disappointed.
making solves, but this is the first time he actually sent one in.
Ah,
I was telling Zorflax about this, another Necrodancer convert.
how does
I-
auto repeat commands? So
Me
this,
cycle optimizing.
this one is put at top input speed. I assume this one isn't, which happens with a lot of people when they are doing the
I
most.
think many.
Yeah, this is
I think
a
it's
pretty
called a
easy
quick
trap to
solver in
fall
speed anyway.
into,
Yep.
where you just purify once and then use one single quicksilver. This is very clean ratios, but it's not pulling the reactive earth input fast enough.
Yep.
Of course, that's where it gets tricky. When you actually do start pulling both out as
Oh.
fast as possible, that's when.
That's interesting.
There's a similar method of pulling 2 of the quicksilver inputs and only projecting, but that is the same number of that.
Yeah.
In both situations, you end up only using half of one input because
Wait.
you need 3 reagents to make one product, and
What you're
you
supposed to
get
do is
4
do
every 2 cycles.
both of that, so that it matches up. But yeah, I like how it does 6 of the bottom one first and then 6 of the top one. Is it 6?
Yeah, it's
1,
doing that,
2,
but it doesn't need to be if it just does one each.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it could just
Yeah.
alternate.
Oh, it does make for nice foreshadowing because you will see this later.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we will.
Also, where
Many times.
is Gritelli? I do not see Gritelli. That is kind of disappointing.
On reduced to atoms.
It's probably covered. Oh, nope. Go back. Go back. Go back.
I laugh for you to just
Spaghetti
grab
crack.
that thing.
I
Happens
cannot
to me
find
way too
Gritelli.
often.
Oh well.
Intelli with an int.
Gritelliant. Okay. Yeah, this is Ancaligore at 65 cycles and 670 gold. Next up would be a flip in the digits at 56 cycles in 12th place, Genius 42. 56 cycles. This has the same problem of... Oh, this is projection only.
There's the opposite problem.
Yeah, it has the
It's
opposite one. But it's got significantly less latency. And significantly less instructions as well. Yeah. So that same problem with not pulling input, not pulling the one of the inputs fast enough, which results in not full throughput.
Yeah, it's half. Yeah, you can see like it says like 75% full throughput, but with the what are we calling it, cesturite instead of the reactive earth.
Yeah.
Looks like it was much less of a pain in the ass to program than Ancaligore's though.
Yeah, well, Ancaligore's was probably not too difficult if it didn't do all 6 of one input first and then did all 6 of the other.
Yep.
He did have to use a buttload of repeat instructions.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this is actually the easier of the 2 pipelines to implement, because you only have to take apart one of the reagents.
Yeah.
And no debonding the earth
And the
that's attached
reagent
to
you
the
take
lead.
apart is also the one you get slower.
Yeah.
It's the same throughput actually at rate as the last one, but this one has much lower latency because it's a more convenient plan.
Yeah, it's 9 cycles faster.
Oh, hi, that's mine, isn't it? So I've literally just managed to log in.
Hello. You want to talk about yourself?
Excellent, thank you. Yeah. That's mine, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Excellent. Okay, continue. Sorry about that. I just had trouble logging on. I'm
You want to talk about yourself, or are you good?
I think he said he's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Next up would be Topple Mouse. Making sure this isn't a sum solve. It's at 11th place with a solution called Symmetria. Very symmetric. how many times?
It's the same as before, where there's twice as much of the Quicksilver input being used. It's just doing it in
Yeah.
two
It's just doing-
batches.
It's just doing everything twice.
This is at 55 cycles, so 1 less latency.
This is the same thing before, but on 2 pipelines.
It might just be literally
Also,
mirrored.
the minimum latency for this pipeline should be 3. What is the latency on this one, actually? Just wondering.
There's always
Well,
a
there's a-
struggle to determine latency when inputs aren't being taken at top speed. Because, for example, the 6th lead grabbed is the 10th lead available in this one, whereas it was the 11th lead available in the other. So yeah, there's
I'm
some
talking
complication
about. I'm
trying
just
to
talking about
find
the latency of the Quicksilver. Like,
It's-
actually, no, wait. That's actually wait. Does it not pull? Does it not pull the ladder to input?
No, it does not pull the ladder input.
Oh yeah, right.
It just
no.
pulls it half as often
I'm-
as the.
Oh yeah,
Quicksilver.
right. Because half is open for. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I am just
Yeah,
not gonna
latency
say that
is gonna be kind of difficult to calculate here. But yeah, projecting
Yeah,
device
that's
is
for the
the
best
easy way to
But
go
I guess,
about this
yeah.
puzzle.
So we can talk about what the minimum latency is supposed to be, because it will be different depending on whether you're just projecting or whether you're also purifying, and that will matter as we approach minimum cycles.
And this is Papa Mouse at 11th place, and next up is a sum solve, so we're skipping that one. But it would be at 10th place. Fuyugi no Kaze would be at 10th place but it's a sum solve, so we're keeping that for the next metric. It is at 54 cycles, and next up is Voidify in 9th place at 53 cycles.
apparently this was harder than I thought because we haven't hit the minimum cycles yet.
Yeah. There also aren't that many submitters. But yeah, this is...
Minimum... sorry.
Oh yeah, this is 53 cycles. So approaching what I would assume would be min latency for this method of...
Actually, min latency for this method of assembly is to do the Quicksilver last. And then it's after dropping the Quicksilver, it's like as you drop the Quicksilver, you move the product onto the output. So this is not min latency for this method.
But it's getting
Because
close.
you get the lead in advance, so you can run the lead faster and then do the Quicksilver last.
Yeah.
In this case, it calcifies last, which would add 1 latency.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
Actually, 2 latency because it moves the Quicksilver on later as well, because it re-grabs that.
The best part about these early solves is that they're
symmetrical.
like they're nice and aesthetically pleasing, and like
Yep.
as we get to minimum cycles, that's just going straight out the window.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it is.
And then it comes back with my solve.
We go so far down the cycles rabbit hole that it becomes its own aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is probably the last of the non-4 throughput solutions. Well, assuming, non-4.
I think you're
a
right.
lot of them are 6T. A lot of them are 6T, so that's technically not 4 throughput, but it does pull at full input speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, next up is in 8th place at a drop in cycles to 41 cycles, Cuckoo 52.
All the tryhards at
That's
41 are
1
pretty
latency though.
1 latency. Here we go.
I think I know exactly where that's coming from as well. Yeah, it's doing them in parallel.
I have no idea where.
Basically, the lead path, the purification path, yes,
Yeah.
the purification path has a minimum latency of 6.
Over here,
And
one,
I would argue it's higher than... Oh no, it is 6, you're right, because you can multi-bond, I forgot that.
yeah, because you can multi-bond, but like this thing does, you have a minimum latency of 6 for that side. And if you do them alternating, you're gonna do the min latency free projection path 2 cycles after the purification path, and that means that you will end up getting the output from the purification path that started earlier 1 cycle too late.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
full
sense.
throughput produces both outputs every 6 cycles, and then the latency matching means that you can't just do everything, both of them every 6 cycles without losing
Yep.
exactly 1 cycle.
Yep.
Yeah, your final 2 products, at minimum, at least the final 2, both need to be purely projected. Just projected if you want minimum cycles. You can see one of the final 2 outputs here is purified. So you're never going to be able to get it in fast enough. You're just 1 cycle short every time.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna. Most likely there are 3 solves that fall into this part where they they grab at full input speed, but just lose 1 to latency. Next up is a host solve Haxton at 41, also 41 cycles, but 635 gold. This one is one of the host solves. It's also very compact. Well, it looks very compact, probably because of all the equilibrium.
I think this might be one of the first solves that you ever had for green vitriol.
This is probably the first. Oh well, I don't know when your sum solve was, but this is probably a very early solve.
Yeah.
One side.
This one also has every arm on period 6, which is a good way of showing simplicity. There's no track loops. It's just straight period 6 work the entire way.
Yeah, one side is pure projection, and one side has a bit of projection. This one is pure projection. This one has a bit of purification going on this side.
Yes, the left side we can see purification.
Yep.
You see it's
One
minimum
purification
latency
step.
on that left side.
Yeah, the left side you get to watch the lead go debond, drop, grab tin, purify tin, or project tin, and then tin into multi-bonder, and then output the next cycle.
Yep.
Yeah, this
That's
is
the
probably more
6.
visually intuitive way of
Yep.
showing it.
That is the minimum latency of 6 there. Sadly, that's just 1 too much. If it was 5, then something like this could actually be min cycles.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hexton knew the fact that 40 was possible, but well, being a host, he isn't obligated to try for it.
Yep. Although, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
when I
40
oh,
also
sorry,
requires that you can do the purification and the projection side of the thing with it in a 2 cycles apart.
Oh, Hexton says
Which
they
is
go
really
into the
annoying to
+1
do.
trap. Yeah. Yeah, next.
Yeah, I
Hexton genuinely thought this was min when he made it.
Yeah, probably, but since we're
Oof.
all in the group, we just pointed it out really soon.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't work out the purification math myself beforehand. I didn't solve, but I did work it out. And I also wanted I made sure that the iron was had 2 bonds at that obtuse angle, just so it could be done. It could be bonded in 1 cycle,
Oh,
which made
yeah,
it a little less of a pain in the ass to get
if it
to
were in
40.
the position of the salt, that would be kind of painful.
Yeah, or I was going to do a lightning bolt thing originally, but
Ooh, yeah, that's
yeah,
also
that made the
kinda
puzzle a
difficult.
bit too annoying, I thought.
Wouldn't that just make it 41 with both sides gaining 1 latency?
Oh, right.
Well,
Sorry, would have made 40 impossible.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
I guess this is just...
I don't agree.
Actually, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah, because you have it bonded at the beginning. You're doing 1 bond regardless.
Yeah, you're doing 1
Yeah,
for the
sorry, you don't.
calcification.
Yeah, my bad.
So 40
Yeah.
is still possible with a acute angle on the iron, and I think I almost wanted that to be the case for one of my designs.
Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Next up is still at 41 cycles, but 10 gold cheaper, Ebanov.
Ooh.
Late worm to early bird. Also, pretty much using the same method. Yeah, with the left side with 1 purification and 1 projection, the right side with 2 projection. Basically the same method, but 10 gold
The
cheaper
assembly on
somewhere.
that triple bonder is beautiful.
Yeah, that the
Snap.
left side here. The left side here is very well cost optimized.
Yeah, just
Done a really good job.
snap in place.
I love that double arm.
And the right
Yeah, the
place.
double arm is a big. Like, I think that earned the 10 gold right there.
Mhm. Interesting how that's
I love
R1.
period 6.
I would assume something like this would be decent at some, but I haven't actually looked into the sum source, so or like
It's too
done the sum
expensive for
source,
some.
so interesting.
625 is definitely way too expensive for some.
Oh yeah, that's too expensive. Yeah. I was wondering if like I was probably going to if I was gonna make a sum source, I was probably would have done something similar to this ish, where I just make it like the min cycles plus 1.
Mhm. Yeah.
And yeah, that didn't happen because guess we didn't have time.
Mhm. Yeah, this is Evan.
So is this the cheapest that 41 gets?
Yep, this is the cheapest 41 gets at 625 gold and 41 cycles in 7th place. And next up would be in 6th place, Tweedledee with 40 cycles and 1355 gold.
Oh wow.
Arms go brrrr. Yeah, we're starting to see the...
Yeah, this would like cycle solve.
Now we're right in a cycle's hell.
The streamer died,
okay.
for me at least.
Okay.
We have no visuals on you anymore.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, we've lost your visuals.
I'll try to restart that.
Tweedledee murdered your
Seems to be existing. Can you like move around the camera?
I see it again.
Ooh. It's
Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's working out, right?
Yep.
Yeah, from the bit I've seen, R9 is interesting.
Cycle solve moment.
It's a Quicksilver queue, so that it can do this.
Where does it store the?
So this is our
That's the cycle
pre-building.
solve, right?
Yeah, this is pre-building. It does all that first, and
Yeah, I guess all you have to do is engineer an every 2 pipeline for the end, and you can make 40 work. But now the cost secondary is important. There's a question of how much work do you actually need to do to hit 40, and this one is doing the most work.
yeah. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
One of the nice things about
Need a
3 steps
calculator, I guess.
is that you can do a grab, advance, rotate, advance, drop, which is like the perfect track loop for doing things at period 2, and the arms won't crash. If it's an even latency, you have to do multiple advances in a row where you just cry, but if it's latency 3, the track loop works.
Yeah. Track loops can be difficult to work with at high speeds. But yeah, this is quite an interesting approach. It works. It works and it's 6th place. But next up is also a new submitter to the weeklies, Bambi, at 40 gold and 1275. 40 cycles and 1275 gold. Bambi is
a legend. Their first solution to any of the tournaments ever was to the high gloss finish, and it was this beautiful max throughput 5 screen sized monster.
Okay, what is this track?
I like that track. I like that.
It's not a loop.
Yes, an open track loop.
And this one as well.
Spiral track is that?
This is a very Bambi style solve.
I mean, open track loops are valid. Are valid options.
These are unrolled track loops.
Yes.
In the left side, there aren't any tracks like at all. There's just a massive multi-arms.
Oh, it does the
Yeah,
same thing.
I believe that the left side was
There you go.
cost optimized and the right side was
Oof.
16.
Except it doesn't loop. Yeah, right. Yeah, it does
The left
same.
side was where the left side was where all the cost optimization went.
I'm surprised this is actually cheaper than the last one. I guess because they optimized one of the sides.
Yeah.
Man, do I love this metric fuck ton of arms on one big ass track that isn't even looped.
Yeah, this is one way you can do it. Just save up a bunch of Quicksilver and then just Quicksilver go brrr.
Time to make a period 4 self and it just has like a billion fucking arms on one unlooped track.
Oh, that is a bunch
Oh,
of hexarms.
Cuckoo 52 piston track.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was going to say that this had
Yeah,
cuckoo
he
vibes
had-
because
he-
of the
He achieved they achieved min cycles for what was the name? Colvin Blue by doing the multiple arms on the track loop solve.
Oh, that's right. That was awesome.
Yeah. That was pretty amazing. Yeah. Next up in 4th place is Hutobi at 40 cycles and 1165 gold.
Yeah.
C1. This is starting to look somewhat optimized.
and there's a hi mom written in null repeats, of course.
Wait, it's
Oh my,
original
oh my
repeats.
god.
Hi,
Does that
Mom.
clock do anything? Or is that just the eye on the higher mom?
The clock does nothing because there's a null repeat in front of it. But interestingly, if you delete, the thing should break.
Oh, that's why it's so ARM 11 and 12 starts early. Where's that?
That's hidden by arm 1.
Ah, I see. Oh, whoops. Yeah, there they are.
Yep.
Yeah, this.
Those move the Mercury and Earth down to those nice double hex arms, which end up storing them.
23.
Double
yeah.
hex arms. Yeah. Those are like, I think, 14 and 15. Yeah. The double hex arms.
And it does this. Yeah, same method. Just.
The
spam
thing
it.
with this was originally I just started making the low latency side, and then with expecting that I could just alternate between them. So I was making the projection side, and then I realized, oh wait, no, if I just alternate, then the purification side will take 1 extra cycle latency. So then I realized, okay, if I have to do it with the last 2 inputs, I have to do it every 2 cycles, and then I figured, I'm just gonna make it do it every 2 cycles, and then just do 6 of one and then 6 of the other.
You described my thought process, except at the end of that, I also thought, oh, but there are going to be cost optimizations, and I'm going to want to not do it this way.
Yeah.
I was aware of that, and I intentionally ignored that fact. And in fact, that's also what allowed me to have those beautiful double hex arms. With
There's a way
extra
to
arms
do
inside
this
them as well.
in 2T or 3T, I don't remember.
And it's 2T,
Well,
yeah.
both
it's
of them, but
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Nice
2G
resetting
kinda-
design, by the way.
that would definitely
Dude.
make it cheaper. But also, ARM 22, why is it resetting? Just resetting for that.
because it can.
Because it can. Just reset the hex farm, why don't you?
And I want to point something else out. That is, look at the Quitani,
I am trying to find it. Oh, there it is.
and now look at the area.
Yeah, it's not included. Nice.
Yes, there's another hole as well, which sadly don't have 2 Britannias.
And this
Actually
is...
mentions the stream is black, but I can see it this time.
Oof.
Yeah.
Let me just try relaunching it again, maybe? Or is it...
Funnily enough, this was actually like
Hack
the
says
second
timing.
solve I did for this puzzle. The first one, but the
Yeah,
first one
yeah,
is a
we'll see the first
showcase.
one in the middle. We'll see the first one later.
Yep. Well,
I'll try restarting and see if it works for you, Haxton. Is it loading for everyone else?
It's up for me.
My stream was working the entire time.
I guess it's, yeah. Well, probably because you're closer to me,
the entire time as well. So
being in
I don't know.
Australia.
Yeah, mine was
Well, I
working
mean,
okay.
Haxton
Yeah.
is close as well, but... Okay, next up is... Let me pull back auto hotkey. Next up is Mr. Puzzle, with a drop in cost at 810. I guess this
Believe
is...
that's third place.
This is in congratulations, Mr. Puzzle, for getting third place, and Hutobi for getting fourth. I guess this is the first of the 2T solves. It sure looks like it.
At machine period 12. This is the way you can do it cheaper.
Yeah. This is at 810 gold.
Also seems like it would require more brain power to do it this way.
And this one is dropping its two projection only pipelines on adjacent cycles. It's like literally 3940. So like 15, 16, and
So
then
it just
27, 28.
drops one of them early.
And there's
Yeah,
a
that's one of
cheeky
them late.
regrab on the left side, which means that the final output is dropped at the same cycle on both sides.
Yeah, it's using the 6 steps, but there's one regrab so that it's 7. And that's the whole point here. If you have a 6 latency projection or 6 latency purification side and a 3 latency projection side, you need to have 2 of the projection ones go to buy yourself 4 cycles, which leaves you with 1 extra cycle on the purification one. And that 1 extra cycle is available for a regrab if needed.
Also,
Meanwhile,
yeah, ARM 22
meanwhile-
doing the spin. And also threading the arms.
Meanwhile, I just gave myself as much latency as possible for the purification side, and just
Because it doesn't matter.
because it doesn't matter if I can make the other one run every 2 cycles
Yeah.
consistently,
If the other one's gonna be running at
which
12
is obviously much more expensive, but also much easier.
Yeah.
3 plus 4 is 7, but 3 plus 12 is 15.
You have 15
basically
cycles
the
to
path.
work with. Also, I have
Yes.
the W track. Yeah. Next up would be Brother Mojo with a 10 gold save at 800 gold, also at 40 cycles. So very close.
No one beat my initial solve? Oh wow.
I have no idea what your initial solve is because you just threw in one solve and then like went quiet.
Yeah, I sent it as Orflex, but I didn't submit it. It was 780.
For Carpilot.
Congratulations on second place, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations, Brother Mojo, on getting second place. These are some very sparse looking tracks.
Big 2-up. Big
I'm-
2-arm.
I'm somewhat impressed that the 2R manages to have a period 5 action when
Oh,
it's not doing it at period 6. I think the pseudo period on the right part of the screen is 5.
Oh, the 2-arm must have a period 6. Oh wait, well, no it doesn't. No, it has period 5, yeah, right.
oh, that's on 15. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's how it uses its 1 extra cycle. It's trying to do something at period 4, but it's 1 cycle too slow, so it's period 5. But since 6 is less than 7, you get 1 extra cycle on that half, and that's how it uses it. Very cheeky.
You can see it grabs the second tin 1 cycle later. That's where you can see the latency.
and it drops on the same cycle at the end.
Oh, I think your internet and stream just died.
Did the stream just die again?
Yes.
If you're doing something other than staring at a screen right now, I don't see it.
I am just staring at the screen
It's
right
back.
now.
There you go.
It's back.
Yeah, I was just staring at the stream. Screen. Yeah. And now for 30 cycles. We have faster cycles, but it's like overlap, of course. But yeah.
Oh, good, 40 is min. I wasn't certain.
I mean,
yeah,
I was pretty startled.
I mean, Brother Moja's already second place. You know that you're first place, Biggie. But yeah, Biggie
Yeah.
is at first place at a very nice cost of 690.
Yeah. So I sent Zorflax a 780 in 40, and then I improved it with a redesign to 690. But yeah, it's pseudo period 12, but since there's some period 36 and period 24 components, it's actually period 72.
I'm assuming because of the track loops.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 both have switcheroos after every pair of out.
Yeah.
And mine doesn't. So mine uses the 1 extra latency on the purification side to avoid placing a multi-bonder. It does the 2 bonds on a basic bonder.
Mm-hmm.
And the right side is effectively period 4, but it just doesn't do every third iteration because the 2 lead inputs are being grabbed and moved off to the Quicksilver side.
Every time I see cycle solves, I'm like, wow, this is complicated.
I can share the original 780 as well because it doesn't have quite as much trickery to save 10 and 20 gold at a time.
Mm-hmm. It
But
definitely
definitely
helps to
this
understand
is-
cycle solves when you actually have solved the puzzle yourself.
Yeah, the main part of it is trying to figure out the benefit that you can get when you're trying to run an every 2 pipeline, but you only have to run it twice. Like the small ways that you can improve the basically ARM utilization when that is the case.
Yeah.
It's easier to build something that is period 2 if you don't have to run it forever. Just slightly easier.
Yeah.
I guess one of those things is that if you have a track loop, you only need to put 2 arms on it.
Yes.
Which is where if it wasn't like if you didn't have to do it like just twice, you would have to put more arms on the track loops.
Yeah. Like, it's a very significant cost shift compared to the previous solves as well.
Yeah, I tried to get as many of the things that do nicely for cost, like counting grabs and making sure that the arms achieving those grabs aren't on tracks. Like you can do some logistics planning based on how many times you need to grab or release something in a particular area and merge arms until that number can't get smaller. Arm 7 still brings me a little bit of pain because reagent is
I'm
holding me.
looking at Arm 7.
It needs to be on translated 3 cycles in a row, and that's just...
If it could do something similar to Arm 6, that would be like...
So what it initially was is Arms 6 and 7 were both translating on a 5 track, and I found a way to make Arm 6 off the track and save 1 segment, and so now it just looks like Arm 7 has a lot of cost all to itself, and that's sad, but it's definitely better than the alternatives.
Arm 7 is as costly as a piston.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 arms.
Couldn't, Goodbye Galaxy is asking if it can be a 1-length arm.
Oh wait,
No,
yeah, this is the 139 area version. Well, yeah, you spotted the things. I saved 5 area, 4 there, and 1 more somewhere else. I forgot to resubmit with the 5 area saved. Oh well.
Well, it isn't a sum, it doesn't really matter now that much, it's a tertiary save.
Those are
It's a
the kind of
tertiary save
mistakes-
on a secondary blowout.
Yeah. But yeah, now moving on, we'll be checking out some of the showcase solves. Which
Yes.
is kind of
Yeah.
How many?
exciting because... Oh, no, wrong shortcut. We have a lot of showcase solves. We'll be starting with
Ooh.
something cycles related, hack cycles, because of course.
Wow.
This is.
Can't you do it in less cycles?
Can you do it in less cycles?
I mean, I'm assuming you can like do it in what, 3?
No, you can't double proc Quicksilver if you have to debond to access it.
Oof, yeah.
You can only double proc Quicksilver if it is present as a single region.
I can't even see the iron. That's how fast it's working. Yeah.
Nuclear fusion has been realised.
Yeah, just gone.
The iron is just invisible.
And stabilised.
I'm just assuming that like if you just copy paste this like 3 times, it's so a bit faster, right?
Yeah, this is a multi-input solution. Yep, this is the real winner of cycles, everyone. At 6 cycles.
Sorry, Biggie.
I
Yeah,
can
you
see
beat
this
Biggie.
is definitely better than mine. This is
By 34.
Shame.
Yeah, and next off we have, while we're on overlap cycle solves, starting with one by, this is by username void.
I think this is my jalapeno challenge.
Yep, this is one.
I didn't even need 10 area, let alone 20.
This is overlap area one?
This is
It is
overlap
overlap
area.
area.
This overlap area.
Yep.
I'm assuming this still uses the 2 different inputs. It doesn't use the 2 different inputs?
You only need 1.
Yeah, it uses the 2 different inputs, but you can just use 1 and double it.
Yeah.
Because that works.
Actually, you have waste then, don't you? You're gonna have off waste if you don't use both inputs.
No,
So
no,
you can't
I mean outputs. You can have 2 of the same outputs.
Ah.
But you can't put them on the same tile because one will always proc first.
No, you can't put them on the same time because they're different. As you
I
just
meant
saw.
if they were the same output.
Yeah.
If it
You
was,
could
we
rotate
will
one
see it
180 degrees.
because Mr. Puzzle did that.
This was meant to be a standard overlap solve without duped inputs or outputs.
Yeah, this is very standard. Next up is Mr. Puzzle's own overlap solve. But this
What,
is
that's one jalapeno down.
this is one with, if this should be one with, yeah, this is one with duped inputs. You see, duped outputs. You see, one of them is not being used at all. Because you can do that in the game, because the game doesn't actually check if you have both of the output. It just checks that you have the same amount of outputs as needed.
Solution hacking. Alcapunks.
This looks like alchemy.
Yep.
This is just magic.
Yep. And while we're on overlap solves, Shadow Cluster also submitted one at even less area, at 7 area. It would be nice if we could see what's happening.
This just like right. Secret overlap area metric.
Mhm.
The overlap guys are just messing with us now.
Yeah,
It's just like
this is a metric on its own. Overlap area.
yes. It was like why did so many overlap area swords come in this week?
I guess we'll have to ask Sorflax. Are you gonna eat a jalapeno for every single one of these Sorflax?
God, I might not even have enough jalapenos for all of these.
Wait, so Softmax did a thing?
Wait a second. Wasn't my hack cycle solve less than 20 area as well?
I mean, yeah, Zorflex just said area, overlap counts. Oh, for
I just
for
said
your
get
own
under 20 area.
for your own jalapenos, that doesn't count. But
Yeah.
you're still eating it regardless.
Oh.
Because we have two 20 area solves that don't have cheats, that use purifications. This one is by username Void, brought to you by Cheat Engine.
Oh, madmen, they did it. I have to go find
Don't
my
use
webcam.
cheats. Also
Brought
cheated.
to you by Cheat Engine.
We have different definitions from the standard gaming community of cheats.
We do. Very much.
Yeah, Cheat Engine
Wait,
is...
where does the waste go?
Oh, that's the point. Waste piles
Ah.
up. This is why
Oh, no.
Mr. Puzzle actually put in this bet. Because
Oh,
of
no,
all
this
the
could
waste
get bad.
management. I actually don't know how many cycles this is. Because I wiped the metadata for this one.
About 3,000.
About 3,000. Let's speed it up then.
Whoa.
Ah, yes, good old dubious area.
The first 6 outputs placed are all the right kinds, and then the top left kind is done the last 6. Is
By
that
the
true?
way, if you did projection, you do not have to do all this juggling, but
But
Min area
Yeah.
isn't
you don't have
actually
room
dubious.
for that, do you?
it's still min area for that. But
Only dubious if you insist on
purification
purification.
only. But nobody actually gave me a one that uses projection because that's boring.
Oh yeah, it
The
can.
difference-
But
the
where do you
difference
like
is that you
save
don't
the
use
2 area
the
that
second
people need to
input.
save? Oh, what?
You don't need to use the second input. If you place projection, you get
No, but-
no trap, and you get only a 2-atom glyph instead of a 3-atom glyph. But you can place the second
Ah,
input
okay.
to get your metal.
I was about to say, but you save the 2 to get the second.
I guess you also don't need a track.
Exactly, you don't need track either.
So that's one
that's-
Oh my
saved
God,
on
look
glyph
at
and one
this.
saved on track.
Look at
This is
this.
juggling.
That shuffle at the end to get that final thing in the top right hand area.
It's like watching a.
You say final, but now we're on 11 of 12.
Oh, it's still ongoing.
Yep, it's still going. There we go. Okay, this
There
is
we go.
2,884 cycles. We have another one by Shadow Cluster that does the same thing.
Secret
With a
third
different
metric
layout.
this week.
Yeah, with a different layout.
The same thing, but one cycle faster.
I actually don't know how many cycles this is. We'll see.
Just area times purification glyph plus 1.
This is another secret metric, apparently.
Yeah, the secret metric is area times purification glyphs plus 1.
Then these would all have lost for placing a purification glyph.
It's
I assume you mean projection.
yeah,
Yeah, projection. I meant. I'm
area
sorry.
times.
Area
Yeah,
times number of inputs.
What's going on?
Oh, this is
Actually, area times
Area
number of inputs
madness.
would
this is
also work.
Opus Magnum. Yeah, currently we are looking at
Stream
oh,
The
stream's loading
weekly
for you?
stream.
You've come in at the surreal solution.
I mean, Petra is part of the weekly community. I assume she knows what Weeklies is.
No, I have no fucking idea. I have no idea why I'm in that group chat. I like post 2 like completely useless messages every week and then leave.
Yeah, but at least you know the existence of the Weeklies. But yeah, currently we're looking at a purification only 20 area solve of green vitriol.
Bless you.
Yep.
The fact it just like has exactly 1 extra area that isn't waste at the end.
2,330 cycles.
Faster.
Mm. But yeah, that should be Is that all the? Nope. There's one more.
No.
There's one more showcase solve. This is 3 instructions. Guess we're not getting the 3 instruction stream afterwards this week. We're getting jalapeno streams afterwards this week instead.
Yeah, I don't actually have that much extra time this week, so
Yeah.
I did it in advance.
Mhm.
And I also
This week also.
my brain just went to doing instruction stuff instead of cycle stuff, so I did that first.
Mhm. I guess 3 instructions isn't that difficult either.
I mean, yeah, you can probably do a lot more efficiently than this.
Comparatively.
It looks like the main challenge in 3i is figuring out how to approach the inputs for 2 separate constructions.
Yeah.
And that little...
Yeah, the second construction I did, which is the one that's going on right now, actually took me quite a bit of figuring out because I had to figure out how to get in the beginning when that starts happening again.
That side definitely looks larger.
Yeah, that side is I actually had quite some trouble figuring out how to rearrange the thing with where I have the 2, like the earth and the lead.
I think there is an excellent Cretelli.
Yes. Very nice.
Well, that is a very solid Cretelli.
Very, very nice Cretelli. It would probably look more symmetrical if the minus and plus weren't there.
That's just where the track ended.
Well, there's one way to fix that.
Yeah, it's redrawing the entire thing.
Just... Bye-bye. Get out. Okay. Yeah, I guess we don't need to finish watching this because it loops, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on, we have our sum solves.
Imagine if like by some black magic it wouldn't loop. I don't think that's possible though.
Grab the auto hotkey script for this. Okay, this is... We've already seen this one. We've seen this one. We've seen this one. We've seen this one. We've seen this one. Sum. Okay, by Fuyuno Kaze at 13th place. Actually, surprisingly, their sum solve, their cycles, this solve performed better for cycles than it did for sum, even though the solve has sum in its name. Sum, too many arms? Yeah, a bit.
So yeah, the short answer is yes.
Yeah.
Whose is this again, sorry?
This is Fuyuno Kaze at 13th
right.
place at a sum of 593 because it's in
And they were the 9th place cycles that you skipped over for having a sum solution only.
Quote unquote
Wow.
sum.
This would have beaten like 3 people if it was submitted for cycles, but for some, it came in last.
I mean, it did, didn't it?
I guess we could. It still counts as 9th place in cycles because we automatically submit you for both. Except if because it said sum, I just placed it later. Well, placed it to watch later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a sum of 593, and the thing about sum solves is that cost is usually
big.
Cost number big. Reduce that. You don't want big cost number.
I do know, with some stuff, a lot of people seem unsure as to how many arms they should or shouldn't be using. And I guess there isn't like a hard rule or anything, but I was for this stream going through all the sum leaderboard solves, and excluding the Van Bellows wheel, I couldn't find a sum record that used more than 8 arms. So
Now I'm interested in
if you're ever wondering how many's too many, say usually you rarely want to go above 8 arms.
Mhm. Oh, this is 13th place at 593 for some. Yeah. Oh yeah. My first sum puzzle that I've actually tried was working on potent potables after the fact of after the tournament, and my approach was modifying my cost solve.
Yeah, I definitely still think of cycles when I'm playing some. That's gonna put me at a style of solution which may not be winning.
I mean, that's I ended up comparing to the actual tournament solves, and it was nothing close, anyways. But yeah. Next up is another cycle solve by Topple Mouse, which we'll be skipping, and Cuckoo 52 at 11th place with a sum of 438. Quite a drop, because this is starting to look like a sum solve. This is 6
It's a
arms.
huge drop.
6 arms, triple arm, hex arm. All the stump patterns.
I like arm 2.
Arm 5. Arm 5 gets to choose whether it translates before or after rotating, and that's the conditional at which arm 2 gets to move the output.
Also, I'm curious. Can it do this?
Yes.
There, now it looks cool.
Giving it the futility treatment.
Yes, must reset the wheel arm.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you
what did
messed
I
up
mess
something. Undo more.
This is the most undoes, yeah.
You've ruined it all.
Okay, I fixed it. It's working. It's working now.
Oh no, the hex arm isn't doing the thing anymore.
Oh yeah, we're just playing around with computers.
Actually, that makes it worse in the secondary though.
True.
Because unlike most of the time, the instructions actually matter.
Yeah. Second, well, quote unquote matters. I don't think there's any primary ties.
Don't think it mattered.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Cuckoo 52 at 11th place. At 438. Next up is Voidify at 416 in 10th place. Some version 4. Oh, very symmetrical. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is
Was
very similar.
This is very
Yeah,
similar
this is
to the
similar to the
cycle,
cycle.
except I assume cheaper.
And it looks like it's running on period 11 instead of period 8.
I guess that saves on cost.
Looks like it's because ARM 8 got a new task, and I guess ARM 4 by association.
Yeah, since it's symmetrical.
One thing I'm seeing is that, if I'm not mistaken, arm 3 and 7 can be placed on the other side, like 180 degrees away from where they currently are.
Arm
I think you save 2 area.
You're right.
Like this?
No, like, yeah, there, where you were going to put the track.
On the far right at length 3.
Oh, okay.
How does that save area?
No.
No?
Still not that. The far right, not the top one.
180 degrees.
Yes,
There you go.
And the thought is that this would save 2 area without causing a collision. Although it would have to wait on the reset by 1 or 2 cycles.
Is there enough time for that?
to get rid of the reset instruction. To get rid
You
of
have
it,
to drop,
you have to drop
and then put
and
the
then
minus farther late. Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna have
yeah, there
3
you
dead
go.
cycles anyway.
Tinker time.
Yeah.
We did it. We performed surgery on VN to cause VN+1 spring into being.
Well, not that it actually matters in placement though, because next up is Bambi at a sum of 400. B.
Just B.
The B movie.
Oh my.
I appreciate the small number of arms. This is
Yeah.
outside of pipeline territory and into elegant territory, but unfortunately, it's not fast enough for its equipment.
I'd say it's decently fast. It's just a bit expensive.
I guess that's probably just the glyphs.
Yeah. It's also
I'm having a hard time reconciling how this is 215 gold.
yeah, that's really expensive.
They accidentally overlap 40 bonders.
3 bonders, now 3 track.
It's probably the tons of bonders everywhere.
lots of bonders and
Anti-bonders.
calcifiers.
Tons of, just 2 calcifiers. That's kind of not that bad.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
not
the
bad.
projection is expensive. Okay, I was trying to figure out. I was coming up to 195, but the projection was invisible to me for some reason.
The necessary glyph.
It's also quite large in area. For like lots of swing space that could probably be reduced somehow.
Would AMP2 have the time to pivot the thing in before it swings it over? Would AMP2 have the time to pivot the product inwards before it swings it?
Galaxy with the Galaxy Brain take that projection is bad for some on this puzzle.
Oh, it's a spicy sum take.
The emote I reacted with is Big Brain, but it's what I consider a Galaxy Brain, and so then the question is
I
it
guess
a
it
Biggie or a
has to be
Galaxy?
rotate, pivot, rotate.
Oh.
Or
Oof.
nope.
Nope.
Oh, Bonder. Okay, so it has to be rotate, pivot,
Yep,
rotate.
you can't do that.
I mean, you can do rotate, pivot, rotate though.
Maybe.
It was interesting how people used the wheel arms differently, because there are like a lot of different potential uses for wheel arms in this. and it's
No,
not quite...
just move the pivot one back.
We'll let Bambi do it
Spam
themselves.
spam Control Z until it works again.
There. It works. Yeah, anyways, enough tinkering. Next up is Genius 42 with a sum of 386 and 8th place.
Yay, top 10.
Top 10. Very cheap. Very cheap. 185.
Looks like it's gonna be big though.
It pulls back on its track before it rotates, which is nice.
Yeah, because that saves 3 area. Not that it really matters too much. And it also matches the other side, because the other side it was going bang, 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 bang before, but now they sort of match. So I thought that was nice.
Yeah, well, area's area. It counts to the sum, towards sum.
Yeah, true.
I like the input suppression a lot,
Yeah.
allowing that rotation on
It has to wiggle to the side to let one side flip and the other side flip, but it looked quite good one of them then.
It's very
This does look
cheeky.
quite clean.
Yeah.
Looks like it was trying to be symmetrical at one point.
Oh, alright, see you, Biggie.
Yeah, I wanted that to start with, but the way because Arm 3 does more than Arm 4, you see, because that has to rotate the product. And unfortunately, I couldn't get it symmetrical, but because it placed at the same sort of time, it didn't really matter.
Mm.
I mean, feel free to fiddle with it and symmetricalize it if you want, but yeah.
Yeah, I probably won't be fiddling with that. Next up then is username void at 356 for some. Some.
I'm free. I would leave it for the spin.
This is very cheap, but it's
Is that actually necessary?
looking kind of slow. Arm 3?
This?
The spin.
You mean you mean spinning over to that side?
Yeah.
If you don't spin counterclockwise or clockwise, then it'll crash.
Yeah, I'm guessing username
It
void
doesn't
has
have enough time
cheaper.
to do it the other way, I guess. Maybe?
I'm guessing username void has already seen that. It's only one area,
Yeah, it's only one area.
so it doesn't. If it saves more than one cycles, it's worth it. Yeah, this is looking a bit slow for a bit too slow for a sum solve, but it's still performing decent at 356 in 7th place. Next up we have Brother Mojo at 350 some in 6th place.
This one's cool.
Leaves on the wind. Oh yeah, I like the hex arm. Does it pivot in yeah, it does pivot in 2 directions.
It has trackless instructions energy.
Yeah, it definitely does. Other than the fact that this is definitely too much instructions for trackless instructions.
I'm guessing there'd be like a version of this
Yeah,
that's very trackless instructions.
a modified version would be good trackless instruction solve.
Surprisingly quick, actually.
Oh wow, yeah, 83. 83 cycles, that's really quick.
Like the level of commitment to the idea.
Yeah, this is 350. And, well, despite Goodbye's Galaxy's claims that not using projection is better, Goodbye Galaxy is next at 325 in 5th place. Oh, you mean... Well, it's still projection. Did you say projection or purification before? I don't remember. You said projection before. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're getting more and more compact as we go down.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot more sense. Galaxy. Purification is definitely not good for some.
There's nice. There's lots of nice pivoting going on here that saves area.
Yeah, it's a very compact solve. This would be at 325. It's at 126 cycles, which is in a pretty optimal cycles range, actually, which we'll see. Yeah, it's track. But yeah, this
For
is
getting the sit and
about
solve everything is quite nice.
this is about the Goldilocks zone for the cycles, though, as we'll see. Next up is Spec 98, 4th place with a sum of 322. Also looking really compact. Bit more expensive though. Oh, it looks compact, but it kind of has quite a bit of swing space.
Makes up for it by being nice and quick.
Yeah, it moves much faster, giving it a better sum.
I guess an interesting point is that, like, you're seeing the solutions here are generally slower than the ones that we saw in Horn Silver, for example.
Yeah.
Even though this is overall like a simpler thing to put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of owes to the fact that, like, with Horn Silver, it's easy to get a nice high throughput going because it was just one input, one output. Because here you need 3 inputs per output.
Sense. Next up is Mr. Puzzle with a 1-sum save at 321. SI. Also looking really compact.
That's 2 straight places for Mr. Puzzle this week.
Feels good, man.
Yep.
You can see more involved hexarm usage now.
You can celebrate your high placements by eating jalapeno peppers, Mr. Puzzle.
3 jalapenos.
Wait, oh no.
Because, well, 20 area purification happened twice.
Celebrate your third place. To celebrate your third place finishes, you eat 3 jalapenos. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a general golden ratio then between goal, cycles, and area for some?
Area not so much, but previously it was calculated that the ratio between cost and cycles is literally the golden ratio. Well, at least very close to it.
Yeah.
It is worth keeping in mind that is an average. It's usually not like perfectly correlative. Like, there are some puzzles where you want a higher ratio and some where you want a lower ratio.
And area is usually just the result of the puzzle itself.
Area usually aligns with cost, usually scales with cost.
Yeah. This is looking pretty clean at 321. After this, though, we take a bit of a drop into 2nd place with Biggie Mac, who unfortunately has already left, but we'll get to check out a solution. Something. Oh, that's quite sparse. Only 1 calcifier. That's pretty.
It makes the same thing and then just debonds and calcifies.
Also, that's... yeah. It's also got a surprising amount of diffs, actually. But it's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense with Biggie's claim that a lot of the other solutions were slow. Because this is 82 cycles. It makes up with speed.
Interesting. Like, all the other solves that we've seen so far are all like a bit slower, more compact and measured, and Biggie's is like the only one of our top sum solves that actually went like all out on cycles and was able to pull it off.
And yeah, it did really well.
This also shows off that the product is the both of the products are very similar. Like, they are the same arrangement of atoms, with the difference being just the calcification and the debond. Like
Yeah.
the one bond that's missing.
Mhm.
From it being like a perfect. What is that shape?
Diamond.
Yeah, perfect diamond.
Or parallelogram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I was just gonna say he does the really nice thing that Mr. Puzzle did in his winning Horn Silver Sum Solve a month ago. He kind of spaces everything out perfectly so that he can get that cycle count right down in a nice cost efficient way.
Yeah. It's also 42 area is well, I guess it is a bit much compared to the one that's coming up.
Like it makes sense given how low
More
his
area.
cycle count is.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up is.
I think 42 is the perfect area for these sort of sums.
True. It's 42. It's in his username. Works out. Next up is in first place Ebenov with a sum of 312. A very compact solve.
what was the title?
A pinch of salt.
Ah.
Only 3 arms.
Only 1 calcifier, 2 debonders, 1 bonder, and 5 track. So very cheap actually, 155 and at around 120 something cycles. 128 cycles.
You can see a very nice low cost count and nice low area count is basically what justifies that higher cycle count.
There was a Zorflax did have a previous solve that we can load in. That is kind of
Very similar, actually.
Yeah.
I was really when I saw this solution, I felt really justified because he actually did end up taking largely the same approach I did, especially with the wheel arm.
Yeah, except just
the same
much
idea.
cheaper, not much cheaper, much less area. So yeah, we can go check that out first. So yeah, this is 312. Congratulations to Eleanor for winning the sum category, and congratulations to Biggie Mac for winning second place, and Mr. Puzzle for winning third. But yeah, so let's go check out that 316 solve, which had slightly larger area. If it would load. There we go. New solution 4. Because this was actually submitted as to test the bot out, so it wasn't really named properly. Yeah, this is a very similar solve. Except I think it also has more calcifiers, yeah?
Yeah, I had to use a second calcifier on this version, which annoyed me at the time.
Yeah.
So that's what I took out when I iterated on it.
Yeah. And iterate he did, because we have a final host solve from Zorflax at sub 300, 292 sum. Iron supplement.
Is the stream choppy for anyone else?
It's a bit low resolution, but it's working fine.
Okay now. Every now and again it goes a bit choppy, but it's not too bad. It's okay now for me.
You just jinxed it.
There we maybe.
Maybe, hopefully.
Is the stream choppy for?
No, not anymore.
It's okay for me now. It wasn't not too long ago, but it's okay for me now.
Yeah.
I can't speak for everyone else.
Oh, it's a 6T solve. So I'll do a little reset there.
I mean, instructions are secondary after all. If you can save one sum by making it 6T, then you should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oof. Oof on Zorflex's end.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Oh yeah, we can't hear you either, Zorflex.
His internet just died or something, I don't know. That's mildly sad. Especially seeing as this is his solve.
Yeah. Well, he is a host. He's seen all the solves. Yeah, this is a really good. This would be the winning solve if Zorflex were not the host and literally the designer of this puzzle, giving him quite a bit of an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be all the solves this week. So, moving on, we have the reveal of next week's puzzle.
Ah, yes.
Go.
Crystal compression. This
Hi.
is
I'm back.
this is my puzzle again.
Timing crystal.
Yep, timing crystal.
Yeah, timing crystal.
And except you compress it. So the metric for right, yeah, this is resonant crystal. Timing crystal is the one that's gold and a bunch of salt. Yeah, resonant crystal.
Yeah, it's just.
So the metrics for this for the next week is, well, actually this week now is a new metric. It's latency, which is officially going to be defined as the time it takes to output your first product. And keep in mind you still have to output all 6 products, but only the cycles to the first one will count. So remember to make yourself loop to make it easy on you yourself. And the second metric is area.
So, latency, also known as what is it?
Just
Also known as infinite cycles.
latency is latency is going to be the time it takes to output your first product.
Yeah, latency is the same as cycles on infinite.
Yeah.
Does your first product have to be built
Cycles to the
entirely
first
out of your
product.
first input?
No, it does not.
Okay, so you can take multiple inputs that go towards the first product.
Yes. Just have fun.
So could you, in theory, I don't know if this would be worth it, could you like build the first product, then it doesn't matter how long it takes to make the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, as long as it makes them?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Not that will necessarily help me or anything. It's just a thinking out loud. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go grab the puzzle and post it into the weekly channel.
Excellent. Thank you for hosting. Thank you all for your time. I always do this sort of thank you at the end to everyone, but yeah, thank you all.
Although-
That's brilliant.
Thank you, everyone.
I have
That's my
one
job.
question,
Yeah.
and that is, how many of these are you
Okay.
planning on doing?
No idea. We still have a lot planned, but we'll see.
Ah,
It probably depend on the participation rate and the time I actually have to stream these things.
so basically, until you run out of ideas,
Until we run out of ideas or time, yes. Yeah,
or people.
or people, yep. Until we run out of something that makes the tournament not function. But yeah, thank you all for coming to the stream.
Thank you, and bye. Toodle pip.
Bye. See y'all.
Bye.